Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stephanie, and you are listening to The Stephanie Davison Show. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Stephanie Davison Show. I am so glad that you are here joining me for the second podcast in the new year. Today, we're going to be talking about fear. I'm unofficially dubbing this for this whole month. I'm going to call it the New Year series. So if you listen to last week's podcast, which I encourage you to, we talked about being intentional. When we set New Year, like when we come into the new year, it's a fresh, clean slate. Everything from 2021 is over. It's in the past. And we have to walk into what the newness of the year brings. And so in that, you can't allow your year to pull you and drag you to and fro. You have to be intentional about everything you do in the new year. So we talked about being intentional last year. So the topic today is fear. Do not be afraid. So because we're in a new year, the new year will present us with new opportunities. And one thing that is going to keep us away from those opportunities is fear. And I want to encourage you guys right now, whatever comes your way, whether it's a brand new opportunity, whether you're starting something new, a new business, whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing, do not be afraid. I encourage you in this year, not this month, but this entire year of 2022. Don't be afraid. Whatever comes your way, don't be afraid. Now, fear presents itself in many different ways. We can be a fear of failure. Sometimes we won't go to school, or we won't ask for a raise on our job because we fear that we'll fail. Sometimes a big thing is we're afraid of people, and we're afraid of what they think and their opinions of us. Some of us have fear of the unknown. We have fear of rejection. We have fear that we're unqualified. And there's so many different types of fear, so many more to name, that keeps us back from moving forward. But I'm telling you, you cannot allow fear to hold you back. The weird thing about fear is that fear, in fact, is a protective-like mechanism. And so, for instance, I'm walking, down a trail in the woods and I see a bear. Okay, so automatically when I see a big, huge bear that turns around, looks at me, and starts walking towards me, I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to be very afraid. Why? Because that fear of that bear is put in me so I can run and react and go the opposite way so that it doesn't attack me and maul me and wind up killing me. So fear in that regard is to keep us safe. But sometimes we allow fear to come to us, and we think it's keeping us safe, but in fact it's holding us back from moving forward. It's holding us back from progress. Fear is good in the instance of a bear is attacking me, I need to run, but fear is not good in the instance of I want to start a business, or God's leading me to do something, or start some kind of ministry, or he's calling me to move to a different place, or he's calling me to do this or that or the other, and we're held back. When we allow fear in that respect to hold us back, we're holding ourselves back from prosperity, from new avenues, from new beginnings, and all of these things. There's so many things that fear holds us back from. Also, we have to think about it. If we're afraid to begin, and if we're afraid to go and do something new, who knows what's beyond that fear? Like, there is purpose beyond our fear. There is opportunities beyond our fear. But if we allow fear to hold us back and keep us stuck, we're never going to move forward, and we're never going to see what's beyond that fear. So I want to encourage you guys to get over your fear. And as I'm talking to you, I'm having to get over fear of things too. This podcast, honestly, you guys, was me getting over my fears of what people think, or whether or not people will listen to this podcast or not. And I had to get over it. And one thing that you have to do when we're talking about fear is getting over yourself, because sometimes ourself and our fear, self-imposed fears will keep us back. And I know, just like for my example, my own fear, I had to get over myself in order to start this podcast and say, you know what, whether people listen or not, this is something that I've desired to do for a very long time, and I'm just going to do it. And so one thing too that I want to encourage you guys to do is, if you're afraid, just do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. If you're supposed to start a podcast, if you're supposed to start, whatever you're supposed to start, I want to encourage you guys, don't think about it. Just do it. I found that is the best thing to do for me in my life, is just to go forward and do it. I can't think about it. I got to do it. If I know for me personally, you guys, I'm not a roller coaster rider, not one bit. But when I determine in myself that I'm going to ride a roller coaster, when it's time to get on and I'm in line, and the closer I get towards the front, I get more and more nervous and I want to turn back. But I say to myself, no, I'm not going to be afraid. And then, you guys, by the time you sit in that chair and buckle up and the roller coaster's riding, it's too late to jump out. You're in there. And you know what? Once you get there and the roller coaster starts riding, you're screaming and yelling and all of this stuff. But guess what? It's fun. It winds up being enjoyable, and you're like, wow, let me get on that next roller coaster. What's the next ride I got to get to? So we have to see too that when we walk in faith and when we get over our fear, what's going to happen is we're going to see doors of opportunity, and we're going to see other doors that we can walk into. When you conquer one fear, all the others are going to fall down and fade away. So I want to encourage you guys, when you're facing fear, have courage and just do it. Just do it. You also need to get over yourself. I think I already said that. Just get over yourself and remember that whatever you're supposed to do is bigger than yourself. It's bigger than you. You being afraid to step out and do something new may be holding somebody else back. You know, what if somebody had the cure for cancer, but they were afraid to step out and say, hey, you guys, and step out in the medical community and say, look at my research. I think I've found a cure for cancer. If they were afraid to show that research, millions of people would continue to perish because they have the answer, but they're not giving it for fear. So remember, your fear holds you back, and whatever you're afraid of stepping forward and doing, it's bigger than you. One thing I want to say about the fear of people and their opinions is this. Listen, this is one thing I learned here probably in the last couple of years or so, that no one really cares that much. They don't. Listen, it's just like, in the news, you hear something crazy happen. It's a big talk for, 24 to 48 hours. And after that, there's a new big story that's happened, and no one cares about what happened 24, 48 hours ago. It's always what's the newest thing, what's the latest thing. And it's just like that with people. They may be talking, you may start something, they were like, you're crazy, why is she doing this, that, and the other? But you know what? After a while, they're going to stop talking because they have a life too, and they have other things to do. And I'm telling you, if somebody spends hours and hours and days and years talking about you and what you're doing, they have no life. I'm just going to be real with you. They have no life. Because if somebody can spend time talking about you and judging you and all this stuff, and they're not doing anything with their life, that's them, but you're moving forward. So we got to break through this wall of the fear of what people think about us, because the fact of the matter is they're really not thinking about you that much at all. They may say something in the start, but they got over you. They're moving forward. They got things to do in their life. They got households to take care of. They got jobs to go to. They got pressures on their jobs. They got pressures of their own to be too much of their own to be concerned with what you're doing. So move forward. Don't we think about what people will say? Who cares? Who cares? Because if God has called you to do something, if this is a part of your purpose, then you got to do it no matter what. No matter what steps in front of you, no matter what obstacles hold you back, no matter what brick walls stand in front of your face, you have to get over your fear and you have to move forward. And so I want to encourage you guys today in this new year of 2022, no matter what comes before you this year. Do not be afraid. You know, you may have to step back, take a deep breath, get some courage, get some boldness, but you got to go forward and do what you're supposed to do. Do what God has called you to do. Do what your purpose is, and don't let anybody hold you back. It doesn't matter what people say. You know, sometimes our family talk to us and they say things that they think they're trying to help us to be cautious and safe, but it's not helping us. You got to silence all the negativity that's coming from everybody, from your friends, from your family, from your coworkers, from your whoever it is. You got to silence everybody's voice. And if you know you are supposed to do something, if you know it is your purpose to do something, you got to do it no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you have a whole lot of support or no support at all. This year in 2022, I encourage you guys, do not be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid of stepping out and doing anything this year, because this could very well be your year. If you get over fear, this could be your year. All right, I didn't mean to rhyme like that, you guys, but for real, this could be your year. If you get over that fear, if you get over that fear of man, if you get over that fear of what people think about you, if you get over that fear of failure, if you get over that fear of the unknown, if you get over that fear of being unqualified, if you get over what people think, if you get over yourself and move forward, there's nothing but purpose beyond that fear. There's nothing but destiny. There's nothing but just a life that is full and flourishing beyond that fear. So I want to encourage you guys, do not be afraid, move forward and live in your purpose. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today for this podcast. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you comment. If you want to email me or say anything, you can email me at purpose@stephaniedavison.com. Also, you guys check out my website, stephaniedavison.com. I got some blog posts on there that would really encourage you. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate you guys, and have a great, great day. Bye.